The wedding date approached, and I exposed my fiancé's lies. The wedding date approached when I suffered a car accident that severely damaged my spine. Gu Yuqin personally brought the perpetrator to justice. The devastating news of paralysis plunged me into a coma, unwilling to face the cruel reality. In my haze, I faintly overheard Gu Yuqin's conversation with the doctor. President Gu, there's still a glimmer of hope with immediate surgery. Any delay could leave Mr. Bai paralyzed for life. Why go this far for Qi Wei? If he's paralyzed, then so be it. I'll take care of him for the rest of his life. If he recovers, our wedding will inevitably face complications. I made a promise to Qi Wei to ensure our child enters the Gu family with glory. Only when Bai Chun completely loses his threatening position will he treat the child as his own. Even disabled, at least he won't harm the child. In the corner, a tear silently fell. The wedding I had eagerly anticipated was nothing but an elaborately crafted lie. The love I had cherished had become my death warrant. Since matters stand thus, I shall grant her wish. No more discussion. Proceed as planned. Perform the vasectomy thoroughly and without complications. When he wakes, I will take him to the orphanage to retrieve the child. Being rendered infertile, he will devote himself wholeheartedly to loving Noonyuo. The doctor wiped sweat from his brow, conscience uneasy. Ms. Gu, have you truly considered this? Mr. Bai is already paralyzed from the waist down. Performing this surgery now, will that not destroy him? How could he maintain dignity in the Gu household henceforth? He remains after all. Moreover, your child with Mr. Qi is already 3. If that girl's striking resemblance to you were discovered by Mr. Bai, would this not unravel everything? Gu Yuqin picked up a moist towel, meticulously wiping my chapped lips. Her tone hovered between helplessness and regret. He won't discover anything. Once crippled, he'll be confined to Gu Manor forever, utterly immobilized. I promised Qi Wei to give him a grand wedding and witness our child's growth together. Even if he married someone else, I'd never let him have lingering worries. The doctor beside me sighed, gazing at my pallid face on the hospital bed. Bai Chun is a good man. You've known each other since childhood. Why insist on that? Never mind. If you think it's worth it, prepare for surgery. Make it clean and leave no traces. Finish before Achin wakes. I won't let him endure unnecessary pain. The doctor hurried from the ward. Gu Yuqin picked up his phone, sending a voice message to his assistant. Is the driver keeping quiet? Pay his family 2 million as agreed. Help them relocate from the city. Bai Chun must never know. Tears streamed down, soaking the pillowcase. Gu Yuqin kept wiping my body with warm water over and over. Yet I still couldn't stop feeling cold. The wedding I had yearned for 5 years turned out to be nothing but a stepping stone to pave Qi Wei's path. That car accident wasn't a coincidence either. She was merely clearing obstacles for Qi Wei. The happiness I thought we shared was as fragile as moonlight on water. Lies and hurt had always been the truth between us. I struggled to open my eyes. But soon, the anesthetic was injected into my body. Before being wheeled into the operating room, Gu Yuqin pressed a kiss to my lips. Be good. It'll be over soon, Chun. I'll wait for you. The cold surgical tools twisted inside me, and with them, my heart froze completely. When I opened my eyes again, I was back in the hospital room. The lower half of my body remained numb. Gu Yuqin stayed by the bed. Seeing me awake, his face flooded with tender concern. She held my hand and gently pressed it against her cheek. Chun, you're awake? Are you still feeling uncomfortable anywhere? If it hurts, tell me. I'll have them change your medication. Her expression showed the same affection as before, but not a trace of warmth remained in her eyes. Can a person really go to such lengths for another? I shook my head lightly, caressing her tired brows. You haven't slept all night, have you? I'm fine. Get some rest. Gu Yuqin didn't question it. Relaxing, she soon fell asleep. I picked up the phone she left on the bedside table and unlocked it. The wallpaper was our pre-wedding photo shoot. The background social apps remained open. The pinned contacts note read, All Wei. Opening the chat window, besides cute cat emojis, it was all photos of Qi Wei holding a child. Noonyuo kept asking for mom again today. Already knows her mom's beautiful at such a young age. This kid's definitely going to be looks obsessed when she grows up. Noonyuo had a good appetite today. She finished the cake you sent all by herself. Noonyuo keeps clamoring to go to the amusement park with mommy. No matter how I try to persuade her, she won't listen. Come over when you have time. Gu Yuqin never replied, yet each photo had a 2-hour-long video recording beneath it. Remembering how she once said she didn't like children, I finally understood. It's not that she doesn't like children, she just doesn't like having children with me. She created a separate photo album for Qi Wei, with the password set to the child's birthday. 5,000 photos documenting 3 years of the child's growth. Gu Yuqin accompanied them through every important festival. The second chat window in the app contained conversations with wedding planners. From the wedding preparations starting a month ago, Gu Yuqin had registered Qi Wei's name. The groom's suit was tailored to his measurements. The invitation cards were handwritten. sent together in both their scripts. From the very beginning, she never intended for me to attend this wedding. I chuckled self-deprecatingly and closed the screen. I contacted my brother and asked him to find another hospital abroad to perform my surgery. I applied to cancel all my domestic identification documents. My brother didn't overthink it, simply assuming I'd finally seen through Gu Yuchen's true nature. His every written word radiated joy for me. Putting down the phone, I fell into a deep sleep. I awoke again to Gu Yuchen's sobs. She clutched a hospital report, shoulders trembling incessantly. Aiken, the doctor discovered during the examination that you have congenital physical deficiencies. You're infertile. Don't worry, I won't despise you. No matter what happens, you'll always be my husband. After you're discharged, let's adopt a child, okay? With a child's company, you'll gradually recover. I was the infertile one, yet she appeared more devastated than me. Her acting was so convincing I couldn't be bothered to expose it. After prolonged silence, I gazed at the report in her hands and nodded heavily. Gu Yuchen shed moved tears and pulled me into her embrace. I will take good care of you, don't be afraid. No matter what others say, I'll always stand by your side. After we get married, I'll transfer all assets under my name to you as a safeguard. Our chests were pressed tightly together, yet our heartbeats were out of sync. After a long pause, Gu Yuchen struggled to speak. It's just, the wedding preparations are all set. With your health still recovering, you might need to find someone to stand in for me. Don't let the Gu family lose face. I knew exactly what she was about to say. Better to take the initiative than be cornered. At least this way, dignity could be preserved. Gu Yuchen marveled at my sudden compliance, but with her goal achieved, she saw no need to question it. When her phone rang, she glanced at the screen and gasped. Aichen, why did you cancel those documents? I quickly swiped away the notification and replied calmly. Nothing serious. They just expired. I renewed them online. She didn't press further, holding me tighter as her voice softened with concern. Let me handle everything while you're unwell. Just tell me what you need. Gu Yuchen, I want to be discharged from the hospital. Her emotions tensed up abruptly. No, your body hasn't recovered yet. I won't agree. I gently stroked her cheek, the corner of my mouth curving into a faint smile. Didn't you say you wanted us to adopt a child? With a nanny at home, nothing will happen. I want to visit the orphanage, won't you? In our 5 years together, this was the first time I'd acted coquettishly vulnerable with her. Unable to hold her ground against my persistence, Gu Yuchen soft. Ned and agreed. On the road, she took out cakes she'd prepared earlier in the car, arranging them one by one before me, claiming she'd specifically bought them for me. Yet the "For Toddlers" label on the packaging still stabbed my eyes. I closed the bag, threw the cakes into the back seat, and pretended to close my eyes from physical discomfort. This 5-year-long deception should end now. The moment I stepped into the orphanage, the scene before me pierced my eyes anew. A delicate, jade-like little girl unhesitatingly rushed towards Gu Yuchen, her childish voice repeatedly calling out, "Mommy." A flicker of panic flashed across Gu Yuchen's expression as she hurriedly explained to me, fearing misunderstanding. Don't overthink it. I've been sponsoring this orphanage for years. This child is an orphan, and she's always called me that. Biting back the stabbing pain in my heart, I forced a smile and gently stroked the child's cheek. She looks so much like you. Had you not explained, I'd truly think she was your own. What's her name? Nuo, the child I plan to adopt. Before her words could settle, Nuo began wailing for daddy. Gu Yuchen's face instantly paled as she nervously turned to look at me. It's all right. Go comfort her. She's adorable, and I like her too. My words visibly lifted the weight off her shoulders. Gu Yuchen hugged the child and hastily retreated into an office. I made an excuse to go to the restroom alone, but overheard employees whispering outside the door. Why would Mr. Gu pass off his own child as an orphan? Those designer clothes she's wearing cost more than my life savings. Who'd believe she's an orphan? You don't understand. Mr. Gu planned this long ago. Only this way can the child enter the Gu family by legitimate means. Stay sharp later. Don't slip up in front of Mr. Bai. See? Mr. Chi remains the most important to Mr. Gu. Back in college, they often volunteered here together. I knew it then, and now it's come true. A man and woman alone in one room. Who knows what they're doing now? Suggestive giggles bored into my ears, suffocating me. I wheeled my chair toward the door. Familiar voices drifted from inside. How does she treat you? Quite well. But she's often abroad, so some things slip through the cracks. That's for the best. She won't discover Nuonuo's secret, and still wants to have a child with me. Gu Yuchen's lips curved into a smile, yet a fleeting bitterness flashed in the depths of his eyes. When Nuonuo enters the Gu family, you won't have to worry anymore. Let me know if you need any help with anything. By the way, this wristwatch I just bought can be considered your wedding gift. Chi Wei accepted the gift and blinked suggestively. Why give me more presents? You've sent so many gifts in the years since your marriage. My wardrobe is already overflowing. If Aichen finds out, he'll definitely be upset. Despite his words, he pocketed the gift without hesitation. Nearby, Nua Nua giggled as she threw herself into his arms, repeatedly calling out, "Daddy." The orphanage director, rushing to handle formalities, hurried over and pushed open the door. A trace of panic flickered across Gu Yuchen's expression. "Aiken, why are you here? Don't misunderstand. Chi Wei is a volunteer here. He just happened to visit today to discuss adopting Nuno." Chi Wei held Nuo Nuo, smiling as he greeted me. "Ah Chun, long time no see." I sat in the wheelchair, forcing a smile and nodding, suppressing the suffocating resentment in my chest. "It's fine. I was just looking around. Don't mind me. I'll wait in the car." After speaking, I turned and left. Gu Yuchen thought I was angry and chased after me, offering endless explanations. "Don't overthink it. He often volunteers here. The kids all call him Dad. Once the adoption paperwork is done, I'll explain everything to Nuonuo." Watching her anxious expression, I gave a bitter laugh inwardly. To secure our child's entry into the Gu family, she'd happily let me become crippled. Now that she'd gotten her wish, why bother putting on this act for me? "Relax. I'm not that petty. Go finish your work. I'll wait in the car." She exhaled in relief, watching me return to the vehicle. Staff passing by shot mocking glances in my direction. Ignoring them, I pulled out my phone and resumed the process to cancel the documents. To celebrate Gu Yuchun bringing the child home, the Gu family hosted a banquet. I excused myself due to poor health, hiding on the second floor to rest, yet still overheard the scornful laughter of the Gu parents downstairs. I maneuvered my wheelchair to the staircase landing, watching the harmonious scene of the family of three below. Gu Yuchun meticulously placed the dishes Nua Nua loved into her own plate. Chi Wei teased with a smile, saying this would spoil the child. Gu Yuchun, unperturbed, stroked the tiny tiara on Nua Nua's head. "My daughter could tear apart the heavens if she wanted. That's how remarkable she is." The grievances that had been bottled up in my heart finally erupted. Returning to my room, I tore everything Gu Yuchun had given me over the past 5 years to shreds and threw them into the trash bin. The moment the trash bin toppled over, Chi Wei suddenly appeared before me, kicking over my wheelchair. Sweating in pain, I saw him grin triumphantly. "Bai Chun, it must be agonizing to become a cripple, isn't it? After so many years, you're still so useless. Watching your own wedding be replaced with my name, seeing your wife bring home my daughter, yet you can only endure in silence. Even I feel pity for you." I struggled to stand up, but Chi Wei suddenly leaned back and tumbled down the stairs. Before I could comprehend what happened, Gu Yuchen had already rushed over like a protective mother beast, cradling Chi Wei tightly in her arms. Her gaze towards me no longer held its former gentleness, but was filled with anger and accusation. "Bai Chun, what exactly do you want? Have you gone mad? Chi Wei went to call you for dinner with good intentions. Why would you harm him?" The Gu parents also looked at me reproachfully, while Nua stood by, screaming at the top of her lungs. Bad man hurt Daddy. I don't want this bad man in our house. I want Daddy. Chi Wei leaned weakly against Gu Yuchen's shoulder, as if suffering immense grievance. "It's all right, Yuchen. Perhaps Aichen has some misunderstanding about me. I only told him that I agreed to take his place at the wedding ceremony. Never expected he'd get so worked up. Don't blame Aichen. He didn't mean it." Disheveled, I sprawled on the cold floor, the corner of my lips curling into a mocking sneer. "Gu Yuchen, the wedding, the car accident, the child. Don't you owe me an explanation for all this?" Gu Yuchen frowned deeply, a faint trace of panic flashing through his eyes. "What explanation? What does your car accident have to do with Chi Wei? He kindly agreed to attend the wedding on your behalf. Instead of being grateful, you repay kindness with malice. Bo Chun, when did you become so unreasonable?" Apologized to Chi Wei. Before I could speak, Mr. and Mrs. Gu were already scolding harshly. "You've become a cripple yourself, yet still make trouble. Do you really think you're still the young master of the Bai family? Who would want this useless trash except my daughter? Enough, ignore him. He brought this upon himself by ending up like this. Hurry and send Chi Wei to the hospital, don't delay." I clenched my fists tightly, fingernails digging deeply into my palms as waves of pain radiated from below. Gu Yuchen left without looking back, supporting Chi Wei with one hand and holding Nua Nua's hand with the other. 5 years of love were completely reduced to ashes in this moment. I struggled onto the wheelchair, booked a flight ticket for the wedding day, then went to the hotel alone. That night, Gu Yuchen sent a message attempting to explain. "You injured Chi Wei, but he still has to take your place at the wedding. Having you apologize was just an expedient measure, meant for show. Don't take it to heart. My parents spoke harshly, but don't lower yourself to their level. After the wedding, I'll bring them to apologize to you properly. Rest well. I've prepared a surprise for the wedding day. You'll love it when you see it." But deep down, I knew this charade wasn't for Chi Wei's benefit. It was performance art staged solely for my eyes. The sincere affection she pretended for 5 years now deserved its final punctuation mark. For the next 2 days, I didn't return home. Gu Yuqin didn't come back either. She was fully immersed in wedding preparations, micromanaging every detail personally. On the morning of the wedding, I called her. Swamped with last-minute tasks, she only briefly responded. CEO Gu, are you truly transferring half the company shares to Mr. Chi? He's not family. Isn't this too risky? Do as I say. This half is compensation for him, and the other half is what I've left for the child. The wedding guests have all arrived. Would you like to greet them? Be cautious. The Bai family might cause trouble. After the assistant left, Gu Yuqin finally remembered to answer the phone. Chen, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. The wedding is about to start. I'll return to you once it's over. Please don't be angry. I stared blankly at the plane ticket in my hand. Then focus on your work. I won't disturb you. Gu Yuqin, happy wedding day. She paused for a beat before replying with a smile. It's our wedding day. Wait for me at home, okay? The call ended. I turned and boarded the plane. After receiving the confirmation text that my documents had been voided, I deleted all her contact information. As the wedding commenced, an uneasy feeling lingered in Gu Yuqin's heart. She turned to her assistant. Investigate Bai Chen's whereabouts. I can't shake the fear that he'll disrupt this. After the wedding ceremony concluded, Chi Wei took Gu Yuqin's hand to toast the guests. The assistant rushed over with a pale face. Something terrible, President Gu. The plane Mr. Bai took this morning has crashed and plunged into the sea. As the words fell, a deathly silence enveloped the wedding venue. Gu Yuqin's face turned deathly pale in an instant, the wine glass in her hand shattering on the floor. Ignoring all pretense of decorum, she grabbed the assistant by the collar, her eyes blazing with fury and utter disbelief. What did you say? Repeat that. Where is Bachin? Chi Wei beside her reached out to grab her arm, speaking in a soft voice of comfort. Yuchen, calm down. Everyone's watching. Our parents are here too. Let's discuss this at home. Yuchen. Hearing Chi Wei's voice, Gu Yuqin completely lost her composure. She shook off Chi Wei's hand and pulled the assistant aside. What's happened to Butching? He was supposed to be waiting for me at home. We spoke this morning, he promised me. Perhaps too overwhelmed with emotion, Gu Yuqin's voice trembled slightly. She didn't understand why she felt so agitated, but hearing news of my accident had instantly shattered her composure. The assistant hurriedly pulled out a phone, showing her news reports about the plane crash. Mr. Bai did take that flight, I just found out. The Gu family has been busy preparing for the wedding these past 2 days. All the villa staff came to help at the hotel, so there was no one left to care for Mr. Bai. I've checked his bow. Arting information, it was indeed that flight. I've reviewed the villa's surveillance footage too. Mr. Bai left 2 nights ago, the same evening you departed with Mr. Chi. Gu Yuqin's arms fell limply at her sides. For the first time, Gu Yuqin felt such profound helplessness, as if swept away by a massive tidal wave, even the strength to stand draining from her body. After a long while, she murmured to herself, It's impossible. Chen promised me he would wait for me at home, and even wished us a happy marriage. No, wait. What he said was, wish you and Chi Wei a happy marriage. Her voice was so faint that the assistant had to strain to hear it. Noticing the abnormal situation, the assistant cautiously asked, President Gu, could it be that Mr. Bai has discovered something? Otherwise, with his physical condition, he wouldn't have left at this time. If that's really the case, I'm afraid. The assistant left the sentence unfinished, but Gu Yuqin already anticipated the conclusion. Unwilling to accept this cruel reality, she chose self-deception. No, impossible. Chen wouldn't have found out. If he knew anything with his personality, he would have confronted me immediately. But he said nothing, didn't send any messages these past 2 days. I've already explained what happened at the banquet to him, and he didn't blame me either. He wouldn't leave like this. I won't allow it. Search. Tear the earth open 3 feet deep if you have to, but find him. I must see him alive, and if he's dead, even if he's dead, I'll personally bury his corpse with my own hands. Gu Yuqin practically roared these final words with every ounce of strength in his body. The assistant turned pale with fear and hurriedly turned around to investigate my whereabouts. Immediately after the assistant left, Chi Wei approached. Still maintaining that cool yet gentle demeanor, he gently wrapped his arms around Gu Yuqin's shoulders. What's wrong? Has something happened to Chen? I knew he would be angry about me replacing him at the wedding. But today is the Gu family's grand occasion after all. All these corporate executives are here, the elders are present too. No matter how unreasonable he wants to be, he shouldn't pick this moment to quarrel with you. And fabricating that airplane accident lie, he's really gone too far this time. Yuchen, you spoil him too much. I know Bo Chun, he's got no friends here. He'll come back when he cools down. You shouldn't worry yourself like this. The parents are still waiting outside for you to toast the guests. In the past, Gu Yuchen might have believed his words and chosen to wait for my return to apologize. But this time, Recalling my unusual attitude earlier, the unease in her heart just wouldn't subside. After a long moment, she shook off Chi Wei's arm and said coldly, "Chi Wei, I'll remind you one last time. You are just here to stand in for a Chun at the wedding. A Chun is my husband, and those parents you mentioned, you have no right to call them that." A flicker of unwillingness and resentment passed through Chi Wei's eyes. Before he could respond, Nuonyuo came running over, tugging gently at Gu Yuchen's wedding dress and swaying it back and forth. Mommy, Grandma and Grandpa are calling for you. Can we just ignore that bad man? Nuonyuo wants to be with Daddy and Mommy. The term bad man made Gu Yuchen's expression turn even frostier. She stared directly at Chi Wei. Did you teach Nuonyuo that? Chi Wei, she's just a child. What have you been teaching her? If you don't know how to discipline the child, from now on Nuonyuo will be under my parents' care. Stay out of it. Without giving Chi Wei any chance to rebut, she turned and strode into the grand hall. The phone screen still displayed news of the plane crash, veins bulging at Gu Yuchen's temples. From the entrance to the banquet hall, she heard nothing but guest sneers and disdainful comments about her. I heard Mr. Chi came to help with the wedding. Could Director Gu actually have feelings for that cripple from the Bai family? Impossible. The Bai family moved abroad years ago. Bochen doesn't have a single relative here. No family came for such an important event. Director Gu must still carry a torch for Mr. Chi. This is all part of her scheme. Look how lavish this wedding is. You can't tell me she didn't plan this in advance. Don't say that. Mr. Bo is quite pitiful, left crippled from a car accident and losing reproductive ability. The rest of his life will be as a useless person. To think he's the only young master of the Bo family, now reduced to this state. Each additional word made Gu Yuchen's complexion grow more dreadful. How could this happen? She had sealed the information after the accident. The perpetrator wouldn't have talked. Once the wedding concluded, Bo Chun would become her husband in name. She would live properly with him, watching Nuonyuo grow up. She would protect Bo Chun well, never letting anyone look down on him for his injuries. Then why was the information leaked? She hadn't seen Bo Chun these past 2 days. What had happened during this period? Had these people said these words to his face? Had he been bullied? Numerous suspicions swirled in her heart, crushing her breath. When the Gu family parents saw her return, they relaxed, but their spoken words delivered a fatal blow. Yu Chun, now that Bai Chun has passed away, let a Wei join the household. Anyway, Bai Chun was just deadweight. Having him around was nothing but bad luck. Pick a date to get your marriage certificate registered. The Gu family hasn't had such a grand celebration in ages. After the wedding, I'll have the servants clear out Bai Chen's room for your marital suite. Gu Yuchen stood frozen, ing at her parents' smug faces, feeling true disgust for the first time. What marriage certificate? Didn't Chi Wei already marry someone overseas? Mother Su glanced at her and chuckled lightly. Silly girl, if we hadn't said that, would you have believed us? We had to protect Nuonyuo's entry into the family. A Wei willingly ruined his reputation to get our grandchild recognized by our lineage. You kept clinging to that Bai Chun. What choice did we have? Now that cripple's finally gone, a Wei can stop pretending. From now on you'll be a proper family. His going abroad was unavoidable. We won't hold it against him anymore. Those words nearly pushed Gu Yuchen over the edge. Her parents' smug faces pierced her even more deeply, remembering her relentless questioning of Chi Wei over these days. Whenever his wife abroad was mentioned, he would beat around the bush. He never once volunteered how they'd met, nor were there any traces of his wife's existence in his social circle. How foolish she had been, only now realizing he'd been lying all along. And to bring Nuonyuo home, he'd caused the death of the man she was about to marry. Bochen has no relatives or friends in the country. He stayed here for my sake. I once promised to become the rock of his second half of life, to never betray our feelings. But what has she done now? Remorse and regret churned within her, gnawing at her heart. After a long silence, Gu Yuchen spoke coldly. My husband can only be Bo Chun. Whether he's alive or dead, I'll marry no one but him. Whether Chi Wei is married or single, I don't care. That one-night stand with him 3 years ago was a mistake. Had I known I'd give birth to Nuonyuo, I would never have had any involvement with him. Since this wedding is what you all wanted, you can clean up the mess yourselves. My husband, I'll risk my life to find him. Gu Yuchen turned to leave. Before she could exit the hall, Chi Wei came dashing after her, clutching Nuonyuo in his arms. Tears welled in Chi Wei's eyes as he pleaded urgently. Yuchen, Nuonyuo just broke a glass and cut her arm. Where are you going? Can't we take her to the hospital first? Fresh blood dripped from the little girl's slender arm. Meanwhile, Gu Yuchen's phone rang, her assistant calling. Without looking back at Chi Wei, she threw over her shoulder. Take a taxi yourself. From now on, my parents will take care of the child. Then she strode out of the wedding venue. As soon as she stepped outside, she immediately answered her assistant's call. Any updates? Have you found Bai Chun? The assistant sighed. Director Gu, I've searched every possible location. We only know Mr. Bai stayed at a hotel the 2 nights before he disappeared and have his boarding information from the airport. Nothing else. You should contact the rescue team. It's been this long. They might have already recovered the... Before the assistant could finish, Gu Yuqin abruptly hung up. She doesn't believe it. She doesn't believe Bai Chun would abandon her and leave alone, nor does she believe Bai Chun was on that crashed plane. She got in the car, flooring the accelerator towards the rescue team's location for answers. But after crossing 2 intersections, she suddenly jammed on the brakes by the roadside and slapped herself twice across the face in frustration. It was she who orchestrated the car accident, and she who personally ordered the surgery. The current Bai Chin's weakened constitution couldn't possibly survive a plane crash that even healthy people might not endure. With his condition being like this, how could there be any chance of survival? In the throes of emotional breakdown, she pulled out her phone and opened the chat window with Bai Chun. Staring at his profile picture, it almost felt like Bai Chun was still by her side. Only by gazing at the remnants of Bai Chin's existence could she barely find fleeting solace. Her trembling hand reached out, repeatedly caressing his profile picture. Their chat history remained frozen from 2 days prior, her earnest explanations about that evening's banquet. Though her words were sincere and pleading, Bai Chun never responded. He'd never failed to reply to her messages before, her texts always triggering special alerts regardless of his activities. Her calls used to be answered by Bai Chun instantly too. When had this change begun? Gu Yuqin hadn't even noticed herself. Everything seemed different since the car accident. Scrolling upward through the chat history revealed Bai Chin's 5-year cherished anticipation for their wedding. Yuqin, what do you think of this wedding dress? Do you like it? It'll look stunning on your figure. How about we take our wedding photos in this style? We'll print them and hang them at the most prominent spot in the wedding venue. I want the whole world to see my happiness, to see that I have such a loving wife. Yuqin, the wedding ring we bought last time seems slightly too big. Can I exchange it for another style? Didn't you say you'd give me a surprise? Could it be you designed the wedding ring yourself? You're so sweet. She had indeed personally designed a wedding ring, but it was made for Qi Wei. Those gowns were merely props she used to placate Bai Chun. Since the very beginning, she had deceived Bai Chun regarding the wedding he'd long awaited for 5 years. Yet he never noticed, remaining immersed in the joy of love, believing he'd found the world's most caring and gentle wife. The man's unspoken joy between the lines made Gu Yuqin sob uncontrollably, tears falling onto the screen. She sent message after message to Boqing, pouring out her enduring love for him, confessing the debt she owed him. Yet every message sent was M.E.T. with a red exclamation mark. Boqing had blocked her. Gu Yuqin didn't hesitate any longer. She drove back to the rescue team immediately, but it was too late. The rescue team had found no trace of Boqing in the sea. Meanwhile, as my plane landed, I'd already arrived overseas. That air disaster was carefully orchestrated, a trap laid specifically for Gu Yuqin. She wanted me crippled, wanted me to exist in a state worse than death, wanted me imprisoned by lies. As parting gift, before leaving, I prepared a grand present in return. When my friend came to pick me up at the airport and saw me sitting in a wheelchair, his eyes instantly reddened. How could this happen? Didn't Gu Yuqin promise to take good care of you? Was it her doing? Why did you have to get surgery overseas? It must have been her, right? Boqing, when will you finally see through her mask? Will you still cover up for her? I smiled and wiped away the tears at the corner of his eye for him. I'm fine. Isn't everything all right? I chose to stay by her side before. What happened now? Consider it a lesson learned. I don't want to entangle with her anymore. Leaving like this is for the best. How's the surgery arrangement? I want to recover fully before returning home. Don't want my family to worry. My sworn brother nodded urgently. Everything's arranged. We've consulted local experts. After reviewing your medical records, they said the success rate is high, but it can't be delayed. I'm taking you there right now. The surgery lasted 5 hours. The doctor said I was fortunate to come in time. 2 days later would have left me permanently paralyzed. Now it's just about waiting for physical recovery. Gradual rehabilitation training should restore normal life without difficulty. I stopped following news from back home. But the Gu family's prominence meant my phone kept pushing notifications daily. At the Gu family wedding, the bride fled midway, making Qi Wei the laughingstock of the crowd. The Gu parents publicly stated that Qi Wei remained their recognized son-in-law. The statement had just been issued when Gu Yuqin came forward to debunk it. She registered an account under her real name, posted our wedding photos online, and publicly declared her husband, in this lifetime, would only ever be Bai Chun. Nua was taken back to the Gu family by Gu Yuqin. She threatened to end her own life, forbidding Qi Wei from appearing in the Gu household, vowing to destroy all enterprises under the Gu family's name if disobeyed. The Gu parents resisted bitterly, but could not defy their only daughter, ultimately complying with her demands. Qi Wei's dream of marrying into wealth shattered. Both families tore off all pretense. battling for custody of Nua Nua in court. Yet Gu Yuchen, as the child's mother, never once offered explanation on his behalf. Read. The torrent of online abuse targeting Gu Yuchen in the comments section. I found her increasingly incomprehensible. All of this was her own choice to begin with. Now that I've stepped aside for her and Qi Wei, for whom is this belated devotion of hers performatively displayed? I stopped checking domestic news updates, focusing entirely on recuperating in my hospital room. My brother came to take care of me almost every day, so my days weren't too boring. But Gu Yuchen was the complete opposite. After failing to find any trace of me for a week straight, she started drinking heavily every day, rarely staying sober. When she was hospitalized for a stomach perforation, she looked at childhood friends beside her and questioned herself for the first time. Was I wrong? Boqing isn't dead, right? The rescue teams searched everywhere. There's no body. The flight information must be fake, right? The Bo family holds immense power. This is all his punishment for me. The doctor helplessly sighed. Let me be honest with you. When Boqing was in a coma before, even though his eyes were closed, he was still conscious. He knew everything you did. During the surgery, I saw tears at the corners of his eyes. Yuchen, you shattered his heart. He won't come back. I warned you from the start. You and Boqing were meant to be. Qi Wei was just a fleeting illusion from your college days. Once gone, it should dissipate. You live in the past, and I can't wake you from it. Boqing's presence once became your salvation. I thought childhood sweethearts like you couldn't be disturbed by Qi Wei, yet you still made the wrong choice. Qi Wei isn't a good man. The ideas he gave you were meant to completely destroy Boqing, but you obstinately persisted, and now there's no turning back. Do you really think that night with Qi Wei abroad 3 years ago was accidental? You know everything in your heart. From the moment you planted that seed, your relationship with Boqing was severed. Only then did Gu Yuchen understand what she'd missed and lost, but it was too late. Ignoring her post-surgery condition, she took a taxi to the police station to file a report. At the station, she uncovered my new identity documents. One day later, she appeared at the door of my overseas hospital room. Watching me struggle through rehabilitation exercises on crutches, her tears fell uncontrollably. Her exhausted eyes were bloodshot. She did not speak again, nor make any sound, hiding behind the wall and gazing vacantly for a long time. Before leaving, she left a note for the nurse to pass to me. It read,